All right, hey there, folks. Welcome into WRDW Plus. Nick Proto, joined by Brian Osden with the FBI here, paying us a visit in Augusta this morning. So, Brian, this is a happy time of year. It's the holidays, right? But unfortunately, it is also a time we see a lot of scams. What are you guys seeing in terms of scams and people trying to defraud others?
Well, Nick, first of all, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
You're right. This is obviously a joyous time of year, but it's also one that people can become vulnerable because of the holidays. People are more generous. People are spending more money. People are out shopping. So it's a time when people that are looking to do scams or frauds are targeting folks around the holiday season. So we see a lot of variety of scams, a lot of the same ones you see year round, just a little bit more volume and maybe a little more targeted. So I'll just couple quick ones that I can talk about. One of them, everybody's looking for that hot product, right? That item that everybody wants, and they're typically going to be the same price across the board. Every website you go to, they're going to be one price. Well, you might see a website that has it, just marked down just enough to pique your interest. So say it's normally $200, you find one online for $150, and it's not like free, but it's discounted enough that you want to use that site to buy it. Well, those sites a lot of times are fraudulent, and they'll advertise through the search engines just like any other company. They'll copy the website, but when you go to place that order, your credit card information just goes to somebody that's looking to do something nefarious. So you're not going to get the product. You're just going to give your credit card. You may not see an illegal transaction immediately. They may hold that credit card information and do it 6 months, a year down the road, but that credit card is now going to be sold on the dark web or somewhere else, and it's probably been compromised. So that's one we see a lot. We also, this time of year, people are shipping a lot of products, so you'll get a lot of folks will get text messages from any number of carriers, whether it's UPS or FedEx. It'll look like a legitimate text message that's asking you for some additional information, asking you to spend a couple more dollars because the shipping fee wasn't adequate, or they want some personal information. So we see a lot of those. And then I guess kind of the third one is because this time of year, really people want to be generous. So there's a lot more charity scams people call out. They'll talk about somebody in need. Just try to vet those out a little bit more carefully, and don't ever give them personal information, date of birth, social security number, bank account information, because even if you don't see anything happen right away, once that information is compromised, it'll be sold in the dark web later on, and then a year from now you'll see that your bank account is drained or your social security number has been used for something. So what we are trying to do is just get out and encourage folks this time of year, talk to one another. The best way to prevent a fraud or a scam is just by taking a pause, going and asking somebody else. Ask your banker, ask your family member, ask a friend, hey, does this look right? Does this feel right? Call the FBI, call your local police. We can look at a lot of sites or emails or text messages and tell you right away whether or not it's a fraud. So just take that pause and have that conversation, and it will could save yourself tens of thousands of dollars in loss. So that's what we're trying to do. So I just would encourage people to just, this time of year, just talk about frauds and don't become a victim.
Yeah, and that shipping one in particular is scary because you could order a package and you might get a text about a package that you ordered when you think you have one out there, but it's not the right one. Are these scams getting tougher to identify with the rise of AI and the advanced technology? Are we seeing more people falling for this stuff now?
Yeah, 100%. AI has made the way the emails are written, the way the websites look, much more realistic. It used to be, you could see that there was a lot of grammatical mistakes, or the site didn't look quite right. Now with AI, they can generate and they can change the sites immediately, and they can make them sound very professionally written. So they're a lot more difficult to identify. Also, with some of the generative AI, you have voices that sound, like somebody you might recognize.
Right.
And so it's if you get a phone call and it sounds like a very legitimate individual, just again, take a pause, ask somebody, get a second opinion before you send money or personal information.
Yeah, so if someone's been scammed or they think they've been scammed and they want to report it, what's the best way to do that?
So the first thing you should do always, if you think you've been a victim of a scam, go to ic3.gov. That's
which we have right here.
IC3. It stands for the Internet Crime Complaint Center. ic3.gov, and there's a link, and it's on the screen there. File a complaint. Immediately file a complaint. One of the things that we've gotten really good at in the last few years is there is now hope if you lose money for a team to be able to recover it. If you can report it within the first 24 hours. Once time goes by, it gets harder and harder because that money will change hands. It may go overseas and it becomes more difficult. But if you think you've been scammed and you've lost money, if you file that complaint right away, make sure you put in where you sent it to. Try to put as much information as possible. And at the back side of this website is a team of FBI and our partners, Secret Service and several other agencies. And they have a team that will try to help go to the banks and freeze those assets before they leave. Doesn't always work. It's not 100%, but the faster you do it, the more chance of success of being able to recover your lost funds. But again, try to do that within the first 24 hours. Don't just take a wait and see attitude. If you think you've been defrauded, there's a good chance that you probably have.
Right. Better safe than sorry.
Put that file that complaint. If it turns out that you weren't and you get what you wanted, then no harm, no foul. But if you think you are, it's better to put the complaint in.
Absolutely. And I think there's a sort of a thought among maybe some of our younger viewers watching this that this only happens to older people. Is that something you guys see, or this happens across the board?
There's certainly demographics that are more vulnerable, and yes, the elderly are certainly more vulnerable. But this time of year, everybody's vulnerable. This is, again, people are charitable. Sometimes people are lonely, and they're fraud can happen to anybody. It's never the victim's fault. So don't feel like you've done something wrong, or you've made a mistake, or you're not smart or something. That's never the case. These scammers are very, very difficult to spot, and so it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, and again, getting harder to spot now with AI and with just the way that these scammers do things now. I actually almost fell for one 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now it wasn't a holiday one; it was just something else. But yeah, it can really happen to anybody. So, is there anything else people should know about these scams or anything going into the holidays?
I think I just reiterate: just talk to one another. If anybody's trying to pressure you into providing information, whether it's on the internet or on a phone call, they're probably not legitimate. And there's no reason why you can't just take 30 minutes, an hour a day and go talk to your banker or your family member to make sure that it's something that's not going to end up being a scam or a fraud.
Yeah, there you go. Brian Osmond with the FBI with some great information around the holidays as you're maybe thinking about giving to charity, or you're waiting for those gifts to come in, maybe doing some last-minute Christmas shopping. All some things to think about as you are doing that. Brian, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.